On Christmas Day 2005, the first ever Doctor Who Christmas special was shown on British TV, a special broadcasting event which would start a famous tradition within the popular science fiction show. The Christmas Invasion was also the first episode to introduce David Tennant as the 10th Doctor, a character who would go on to become one of the most popular renditions of the over 900-year-old Time Lord, as it ignited the popular pairing of Tennant's 10th Doctor and Billie Piper's Rose Tyler, one of the most popular televisual team-ups of the modern age, a double act which is still just as celebrated to this day. The start of a golden age of modern Who, of which many fans still haven't gotten over, and rightfully so. In the Christmas Invasion, the TARDIS crash lands on the Powell estate on Christmas 2005, where a newly regenerated Doctor is left bedridden, while a terrifying alien invasion threatens the world with Yuletide chaos, including robot Santas, deadly Christmas trees, and a plot to control the minds of people with A-positive blood. Rose must come to terms with the fact that the Doctor is now a new man, and deal with her grief of the previous Doctor, while also trying to hold it together during Earth's clash with a terrifying alien race. But the big question is, will the Doctor finally come round and save the world? Russell T Davies says, "I'm dreaming of a fright Christmas." Well, the Radio Times didn't exactly come up with the most appealing cover to advertise this special episode, did they? But nevertheless, it was an exciting event which not only changed the way we looked at Doctor Who, but also TV in general, as it was the start of a new era. So of course, get out your pinstripe pyjamas and satsumas as we look into 10 things that you may not know about the Christmas Invasion. Let's check it out.
To know who you are! I don't know!
Number 10. Reasons for being a companion-led story. Christmas specials have become a big part of British broadcasting traditions, where famous British TV shows will get a one-off special episode broadcast on Christmas Day. Doctor Who got its own Christmas special commissioned the first year of its revival, thanks to how popular the first series proved to be with child audiences. Russell T Davies claimed that it only took 0.6 seconds to come up with the title Christmas Invasion, and insisted that he wanted the episode to feel very Christmassy, stating he loved the Christmas tone of other British Christmas specials of the past, particularly Only Fools and Horses. Davies wanted to inject plenty of Christmas joy, but also heartache, because Christopher Eccleston, who played the 9th Doctor in the revival's first series, was no longer on board, with David Tennant's 10th Doctor being introduced. In fact, most of the episode focuses on the Rose Tyler character, with the 10th Doctor spending most of the episode in bed with post-regenerative trauma, a condition that was introduced in the 3rd Doctor's first episode, Spearhead from Space, only to then really spring into action in the episode's finale. A great deal of the episode is exploring Rose's shock and trauma and even grievance for the 9th Doctor no longer being around, along with her confusion of not knowing who this new Doctor is, or even if he is the Doctor. This huge subplot was added by Davies because of when he first saw Tom Baker's very first 4th Doctor story, Robot, as when he was a child, seeing it for the first time, he initially didn't like the change and felt it very alienating. So he wanted to focus on that, as he felt modern children watching would feel the same way about Doctor number 10. And how ironic that both the 4th and 10th Doctors would go on to become landmark Doctors in the show. Number 9. Basis for the 10th Doctor.
Are you hanging up, standing on your wall?
Despite the fact that David Tennant is a Scottish actor, his portrayal of the 10th Doctor features a London Cockney accent. In a deleted scene, it was going to be explained that the reason the Doctor now has this accent is because Rose has imprinted herself onto his regeneration, like a chicken hatching out of its egg, hence the similar accents. However, the true genesis of the 10th Doctor was Casanova. In March 2005, David Tennant starred in a 3-part miniseries where he played the part of Giacomo Casanova, a show which was also written and produced by Russell T Davies. And you can clearly see many similarities between the 10th Doctor and Casanova, such as Tennant's use of humour, youthful cheekiness, over-expressive mannerisms, and hyperactive comedic timing. And of course, they both have the exact same Cockney accents. Casanova was used as a basis for the 10th Doctor. I read an interview with Tennant at the time, and he said something to the effect of his Doctor is just like Casanova, only, quote, less shagging. So, yeah, Casanova is like an R-rated version of the 10th Doctor. Number 8. David Tennant's first 2 action-packed weeks. The 10th Doctor would become well known for being a very energetic Doctor, quick on his feet and always seemingly running. So much so that throughout his run as the Doctor, no pun intended, there were many gags as to just how much running he does. So considering Doctor number 10 is a man of action, there's an irony that his first couple of weeks of filming were literally just him laying in a bed in an unconscious state. Now okay, technically Tennant's first bit of filming associated with the character was a short prequel, Children of Need Minnesota. But when it came time to actually start filming his run as the Doctor, his performance basically consisted of him laying in bed in a comatose state, with actors Billy Piper and Camille Coduri looking over him making sure he's okay. Tennant even joked that it's some of his best acting work. Number 7. Story behind the SYCORAX. In the Christmas Invasion, we see the Doctor and planet Earth come face to face with a different kind of alien threat. The SYCORAX, an advanced species that doesn't rely so much on weaponry and technology, but more superstition and witchcraft, with them having a low-tech look and more of a tribal one. However, the SYCORAX got its name from the Shakespeare play, The Tempest, in which the SYCORAX is the name of a witch in the popular play that was written in 1610, in which the SYCORAX would get mentioned again in a future episode, The Shakespeare Code, which of course featured William Shakespeare. Although the SYCORAX have never been a major villain since the Christmas Invasion, they are still a memorable opponent in the show, with the prototype of the SYCORAX sword being sold on eBay for over £900. Incidentally, one of the establishing shots of the SYCORAX was done to make them resemble Queen in the Bohemian Rhapsody video. And that is only one of many pop cultural references in this episode, which brings me to my next point. Number 6. Broadcast intrusion. If there is one thing we can learn about writer Russell T Davies, that is that he sure did like his pop cultural references. And nowhere is this more evident than in the Christmas Invasion. From the Doctor referencing the Lion King, to his Arthur Dent pajamas look, to even mentions of Elvis. It's all here. But one bit of dialogue very cleverly pays tribute to a real-life broadcasting incident from the past. In the scene where the SYCORAX make their first broadcasting intrusion, the character Harriet Jones is asked what should the public be told about the signal hijack. She suggests to inform the public it was a hoax hijack, made by students wearing prosthetic masks. This of course was a reference to the Max Headroom signal hijack in 1987, where one night in Chicago when a repeat episode of Doctor Who The Horror of Fang Rock was being shown, the channel was hijacked by a young prankster wearing a very creepy Max Headroom mask, in what has become one of the most famous mysteries in broadcast history. So it's nice to see the signal hijack finally gets referenced within the show itself. Number 5. Not the first Christmas episode. Although the Christmas Invasion has the honour of being the first Doctor Who Christmas special, something that would go on to become a tradition within Doctor Who, it actually wasn't the first episode to be shown on Christmas Day. That honour belongs to the 1965 episode The Feast of Stephen, which was the 7th episode of a 12-episode long serial called The Dalek Master Plan. And the serial itself is quite dark and even features the death of a companion. However, considering the 7th episode was being shown on Christmas Day, during the recording of the show, the first Doctor, William Hartnell, literally breaks the fourth wall and looks straight into the camera and wishes everyone at home a Merry Christmas.
Incidentally, a Happy Christmas to all of you at home.
Creating one of the strangest incidents in Doctor Who's long history. And giving the Daleks' master plan's intense story, it's really weird. It's like, yes, Merry Christmas everyone! By the way, one of the companions is about to die, but Merry Christmas! Number 4. Royal Inaccuracy.
Confused mind brews this
In Christmas Invasion, we learn that the SYCORAX can manipulate the behaviour of people who are blood type A positive, with all the people in the world who have this blood type to be hypnotised to walk on the ledges of rooftops, with the threat of they will be hypnotised to jump if the SYCORAX demands are not met, which itself is a very scary prospect. In a scene where Prime Minister Harriet Jones addresses the nation on live TV, she asks what happened to the royal family, only to be informed that they are on the roof. Well, in reality this wouldn't happen, as the royal family members are made up of the blood types 0 negative, AB and A negative. But still, it made for a funny line when Harriet Jones informed the world that the royal family is on the roof, so I'll go with it. Number 3. Return of the Middle Eight. The score for the Christmas Invasion was composed by Murray Gold, who also composed the first series along with scoring Doctor Who all the way up to 2017. However, it was the Christmas Invasion when the music of Doctor Who got an upgrade, this time performing the music of the show with the BBC National Orchestra of Wales, unlike the previous series which was composed by computer-generated music, making the show sound a lot more cinematic and atmospheric. And another significance with the music is the theme at the end, which now featured the famous Middle Eight part of the Doctor Who theme. See, let me explain. In the first series, Murray Gold just composed the traditional ooey-oo theme. And didn't compose the other part that went... Does that make sense? Gold originally didn't want to include the middle part of the theme in his rendition of the Doctor Who tune, as he felt it sounded too much like the tune of Do They Know It's Christmas? In which, several months before Series 1 of Doctor Who was broadcast, the 20th anniversary of Do They Know It's Christmas came out, so clearly the song was on Gold's mind. But regardless, the theme was finally played in its complete glory for Christmas Invasion. Number 2. The Guinevere 1 is based on 2 real space probes. So in Christmas Invasion, the SYCORAX hijacks a space probe called the Guinevere 1 that has been sent into space by the human race in anticipation of making contact with alien life forms. This wasn't just some random plot point that Russell T Davies had made up either, as similar things have happened in real life, particularly Beagle 2, which was a British Mars lander, which after a 6-month trip landed on Mars on Christmas Day in 2003, which I can't help but think that Davies took inspiration from. Also, the design of Guinevere 1 is based on NASA's Magellan spacecraft, a craft that was sent out to map the surface of Venus in 1989. In addition to that, before the Christmas Invasion was broadcast, a mock-up website about Guinevere 1 was put up online. Number 1. Potential 10th Doctors. Without a doubt, David Tennant was one successful Doctor. His portrayal of the part is still to this day one of the most celebrated, with many even claiming him to be the best Doctor. However, before he landed the role and graced the world with his pinstripe suit and plimsolls, other actors who were considered for the part include David Walliams and Bill Nighy. Walliams was big at the time thanks to his role in comedy double-act series Little Britain, and Nighy was also increasingly becoming popular thanks to his role in Love Actually. And Nighy was also supposedly offered the role of the 9th Doctor too. Despite the fact neither of them got the role, both Williams and Nighy would go on to star in future episodes of the show, with Williams appearing in The Godlike Complex, and Nighy having a cameo in Vincent and the Doctor. Tennant and Russell T Davies, as mentioned, worked together on Casanova, which led to Tennant's casting. As for the pinstripe suit and sneakers, well, that look was created by the crew watching Jamie Oliver in a TV interview on The Parkinson Show, in which he wore a suit with all-star sneakers, which hit a nerve with David Tennant in particular, and led to the creation of the 10th Doctor's look. So, thanks Jamie Oliver, I guess. Well guys, that was my look into the Christmas Invasion, the very first Doctor Who Christmas special, and the very first one to feature David Tennant. And it's no wonder it's gone down to become a classic episode, with many people claiming it to be the best of the Christmas specials. And even watching it now still gives me lots of joy. Anyway, I'm Minty, and remember people, Christmas trees are evil and will kill you to death. See ya!